Alrighty, we've done it. We have reached the end of the Bard's Deep Dive series. I love doing these series because not only do I feel like I get to help the community by giving the best education I can produce, I learn myself. There are elements to these classes, these fine details that I miss from a general overview. I like to start out the first video by saying here are my current impressions, and I like to end the video with what changed. So before I say what changed, let's say what stayed the same. Bards struggle early levels. Their offense and defense are criminally low, but I think it's a good thing actually, but they are probably the weakest in the game. They really struggle with AC, they struggle with saves, they struggle with pressure. They just have so many weaknesses. I mentioned that they are a high skill character, and that is absolutely true. Your bard can be anything from the best character in the game to the weakest, and that's where my surprise comes in. Is my assumption was that wizards were the best late level class in the game, and I don't agree with that anymore. I think from levels 10 or 11 and beyond, bards are the strongest class in the game. That took me by surprise. What sets spellcasters apart when you're comparing these spellcasters going head to head? It's all about spell selection, and wizards are the king of spell selection, or so I thought. Wizards have way more spells than anyone else, more than they should, if you ask me. There's some spells I'm like, why is that on the wizard spell list? Let it be on someone else's, please. What comes to mind is web. I think that should be on druids, not theirs. Autoluke's irresistible dance I think should be bard exclusive. Why is that on wizards? Those are just my opinions, but as it stands, wizards are supposedly the king of spell selection. However, once I'm digging into it with a fine-tooth comb, yes, they have the best fight-winning spells, but fight-winning spells aren't all there is. And here's the thing, bards, before they even have magical secrets, have excellent fight-winning spells, slightly worse than wizards. But for 6th level spell, 3rd level spell, 4th level spell, they're equal. 5th level spell, they don't get Wall of Force, sure. 7th level spell, they're equal. They're mostly equal with slight bumps. And then we take magical secrets on top of that, and we can do things wizards can't hope to do. I think a big piece of that is Find Greater Steed. Find Greater Steed gives us so much vertical and horizontal mobility that wizards will never have, and it's concentrationless. Combine that with a fight-winning spell like Mass Suggestion, which wizards also have, and we have a concentrationless fight-winning spell. Then there's our weaknesses. We share a common weakness to wizards, which is our wisdom saves. We have options to fix that. Wizards less so. We have motivational speech, which is going to give us advantage on wisdom saves until they remove some temporary hit HP from us, which may be difficult if we're on a Find Greater Steed, for example. Or we have Hero's Feast. Hero's Feast is something I didn't mention in the Bard late levels tactics that I should have, because it absolutely covers our wisdom save weakness far better than motivational speech. However, there is a cost to it. So I think they both have merit. So that leaves AC. Wizards do win on AC over bards. They have the shield, they have mage armor. We're not optionless though. We still have mirror image, which is going to be a big deal. And more importantly, we have the better mobility, which is a bigger deal as far as defenses go. Anyways, that can put us out of range, that can put us behind total cover, which are two options that are just better than shield. And something else that's worth mentioning in the bard versus wizard competition is we have Jack of all trades, which most importantly increases our initiative. If we're going to be a fight-winning spell caster, our initiative is so important because we need to go before everyone else to win the fight, and bards do that better as well. And I know wizards have powerful class features as well, but specifically from their subclasses, they get a lot of powerful stuff, but so do bards. And I think there's an argument to be made that where their class features are often boosting spells, ours are often outside of spells like bardic inspiration. So here we are, we're both there with our excellent fight-winning spells, but we have better mobility and we have better saves on the biggest save that matters, which is wisdom. And not only that, everything I mentioned for bard is concentrationless. We have not used our concentration spell yet. We can use our concentration flexibly. Maybe we need more defense, we can focus on a concentration spell that's more defensive. We can be more offensive, we can be more supportive. We have options with our fight-winning spell where wizards might not, because they may need to use their fight-winning spell to take care of those weaknesses that we're taking care of non-concentration. So long story short, we're both fulfilling the same function of casting a fight-winning spell, but bards do it in a way that is ultimately safer. I may be wrong. Disagree with me, and I would love to hear your arguments in the comments down below. But my assumption going into this, my biggest assumption going into this, is that wizards are king late levels. I don't think so anymore. I think bards are king late levels. So I'm not going to say one is better than the other, but I'm just saying that we have a niche as we're doing all this amazing stuff and can still support our allies and can still be a face out of combat and can still infiltrate. We can do a lot of things in and out of combat that the wizard can't do. This has blown my own mind, and I love that bards are skill-based. I love that a bard played poorly, a bard underestimated in some areas and overestimated in other areas can be an absolute disaster. I've played with several people who struggle with the bard class, and that's because I think it's potentially the highest skilled class in the game. And having the highest skilled class in the game come in at the weakest and end at the strongest, that sounds like good game design to me. So I've gained an appreciation for bards that I did not have previously. Bards were one of the classes that I slept on, mostly because the flavor didn't resonate with me. I felt bards should be aura based. You know, they turn on a specific aura and then change auras, because that's kind of what bards have been in the past for me. I might prefer that as their flavor, but from what we have, it's just nice to see that kind of game design that goes in from weakest to strongest, high skill, very interesting, a lot of skill selections, a lot of versatility. Bards can be almost anything. They're just really, really cool. So my love for bards have grown a lot through this process, and I hope it did for you as well. That is just my take. I would love to hear yours in the comments down below. And with that, I hope you have yourselves a absolutely wonderful day, and I will catch you on the next one. Later.